So I'm having a chat with Harry and Finn of the Jacks. How are you both?
Good. Yeah, very
Yeah,
good.
well, thank you.
Good.
How are
Great
you?
stuff. Yeah, not too bad. Thanks so much. So after this interview, we'll play a new single of yours called Ramona. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Harry, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. So, Finn had like the bones of this song, I guess, pretty soon after we started writing the second album, and sent over little voice notes of bits. And from the outset, I felt that it had quite a sort of New York new wave sound that I really felt like leaning into, and so we put together a little synthy pop song for the record.
Do you know what, Harry? It seems to me that I've never actually told you this, but I wrote this when I was maybe I actually wrote the tune when I was about, I reckon 17 or 18, about this girl that I had a crush on. But
Yeah.
then, did I ever tell you that?
Did you tell me that it was a different name before? Was it a
It was a
different name?
different name before, yeah. I had to
I
change the
remember telling
name.
me
So
that.
it's
Yeah,
the original name, My Lips Are Sealed. But I
yeah.
changed the name to something more ambiguous. But
It
yeah,
rhymes with
it was based.
Ramona.
It doesn't. It just ends in But and it's three syllables. But yeah, it was actually like really old, and I sort of trashed it because I felt embarrassed, and then just brought it back up, and then yeah, the band seemed to like it, so we just
Was it
went with it.
Natalia?
It wasn't
Natalia.
Natalia. It wasn't, but it was kind of close though.
We're going to spend the rest of this interview trying to work out what it was.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna say. Even if you get it right, I'm not gonna say.
Natalia.
Yeah, something like that though.
But while we try and work out that, and those who watch it on YouTube and TikTok and whatever, comments below. You
Yeah.
have got your second record coming out on September the 5th. Make repetition. What can we expect to hear on the record?
It's kind of I think I mean I'm gonna say it's different from our last record, like our first one, obviously, in terms of for like to me the best way I can describe it, and I don't know if it's any good, but each song is um like with the last one we sort of tried to make like a kind of soundscape journey thing. But with this one, it's like each song feels a bit more considered, I think. And there's definitely like a style throughout, which is us, but it's maybe less of a journey and more of a just like bang, bang, bang. That's that's how I would. I know that the people listening on the radio can't see my gestures that I'm doing with my hands, but maybe they can imagine them.
Yeah, yeah. No, they absolutely can. And the sounds that you made with this record, was it the sounds you wanted, or is it kind of how it turned out in the studio?
That's a good question. I feel like the limitations of however you're recording, um, I find to be in hindsight like quite a positive thing. Um, because I feel like, especially when you're making music, if you're producing stuff as an individual and you're not really considering how things would come together as a band, like you can sort of do whatever you want. Especially if you're getting lost in plugins, and if you've got lots of equipment at your disposal. But we recorded most of it live using pedals and amps that we already had, and um, most of it is using keys and keyboards that we got. Um, so really, like I guess a lot of it is the production and the mix, but it's more a case of trying to capture something on the day, like in terms of the energy of the performance and the sort of, I guess, emotion in the vocals. So I don't know if that answers the question, but I feel like the limitations of recording, I think, sort of capture the songs as like a snapshot. But I like reinterpreting these. Like it'll be fun to take these out on tour and to play them a slightly different way. But I think
Yeah,
the songs are the songs.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto this record. What happens to those now? Do you consider them again down the line, or is it a case of starting afresh when it comes to record three?
It's quite rare that we abandon a song. I think what we'd usually do is be like, okay, so we've done it actually because we're working on new stuff at the moment for later on. And there's one, me and Harry were just having a conversation yesterday about one song which we both really like, but we hadn't captured it in, like, it sounds good as it is, but we know it could be better. So we're like, oh, let's just like do a new arrangement of it kind of thing. So I think it's more like that. Like, we don't ever really abandon ideas. We just sort of like give them a bit more nurturing, I suppose.
Mm.
If we think like, oh, this version of this, it's not like, oh, it's not how I imagined it. It's more like, oh, I think it could be better. So we'll kind of just do that with like with a lot of songs. Like there are songs on this record that probably would have been on the last record, but we didn't, there was other stuff going on and we didn't make it into what we wanted in time. So yeah, I would say we very rarely like fully let go of stuff. Like it has happened, but I think me and Harry, because we both write quite a lot, like we get quite attached to things. I don't want to speak for him, but um I definitely get quite attached to things, and it's like, yeah, you want to give it like a new lease of life sometimes when it hasn't quite been done justice or something. So yeah, there'll be a bit of that. There's always like an overlap and things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like we like Finn was saying, you end up resurrecting songs like further down the line. I try not to be too precious about them now, just because um we write stuff at such a rate that we'd literally have to be putting out like a full length album like twice a year probably, to at least to keep up with everything that we do. So like you do have songs that you think, I've still got songs that I'm like, one day maybe. But if it doesn't come out, I don't feel like whatever comes out instead is like it's a shame, because we've got these other things. It's just like you just make stuff, like anything. You just make so much stuff that there's like a limit to how much like stuff can be released. So you just snooze it, and like if it doesn't come out, then like whatever. But at least we've got it, and like we want to put it
Yeah.
out. And
And
yeah,
also there's like sometimes we'll like, so for example, I'm thinking of the metaphor of like when people make pots, when they're potters, if they don't like what they've made, they don't chuck the clay away.
yeah, yeah,
They keep it and they remold it.
yeah.
I know that because my mum does that. But like that's kind of sometimes what, like, some, or like Harry will write a song, I'll write a song, and we'll be like, oh, these two actually we could have your chorus and my verse,
Mm,
and that'll sound good. So it's like we never like chuck things away, really.
yeah.
It's just more like we sort of,
Recycling.
yeah, 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 sustainable.
Yeah.
We're quite a green band.
Yeah. We are
That's
actually,
good in
all
a way.
jokes. But anyway,
Um,
yeah.
and I like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
There's no normal, to be honest, is there? Like it'll either be Harry's got an idea or I've got an idea. Um, and then we bring it to the band and then it becomes something else, usually, I would
Mm,
say.
yeah,
Not something else, but an extrapolation of whatever it originally was, maybe. Because we like doing things together. Like
yeah.
it
We're always backlogged with stuff that we've got, but not that we just romanticize it, because we do it as well. But we like to go in the studio and work on stuff together. It's nice to have like it's nice to build something from scratch together, which is cool. But I don't think there's not really a best way of doing things for us. I think
mm,
it's more out of necessity. Like if we're spending a lot of time not together, we're just going to write anyway. So we'll have songs at least for when we do come back together. But if we are all together in the studio, then we'll come up with stuff that way. It's definitely the part of being in a band that I think we worry about the least is the songwriting, because there's
Yeah,
just an abundance. It's like
yeah.
all the other bits that's like logistically difficult.
I also think there's like a big element of, well, from my perspective, there's a big element of trust involved because like when in the really early days of this band, before Harry was in the Jacks, it did used to be I would write the songs. I wouldn't say, oh, I wouldn't go as far as to say like this is what the drums need to sound like, this is what the other, but I would write the songs and bring them to the band and we play them as they were written. Um, and then when it got into like the newer era of the band, all of a sudden we were kind of like collaborating, and I was like, there's still, I don't know, I have to really trust that the people I'm doing it with are good, and I did, so, and I still do. So it's like I sort of feel like there's less. I feel like I'm getting better at like letting go of like old ideas about what I thought something should sound like, because actually Harry or Elliot might come in and be like, "Oh, why don't we do this here?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, actually, that sounds really cool." And I know it's quite like sort of simplified way of saying it, but like, and I imagine, oh, well, I don't know if Harry feels the same, but like it seems that way because like we do just kind of like we work on it together a lot more now. Um, and have done for years and years. Like that's been the way we've worked for most of the history of this band now. Um, but it's nice because like you don't, you write something and like I'll be sat on my sofa writing something and I'm like, I don't, I need someone else to like tell me how this should go in the next bit or whatever.
I think
Um,
it's like the biggest benefit of being in a band is like you don't like having more people like musicians like at your disposal. It's like something that like I think solo artists must and ones that I've spoken to like are often like looking for collaborators. It's not because you're not capable of making songs on your own or doing stuff on
mm,
your own, but I think things it becomes greater than the sum of its parts. Like when more people, it's just
yeah,
something one individual could never really come up with on their own
yeah,
when people work together.
yeah.
Um,
But there's definitely like a big, for me, there's a big like I don't like the idea of sitting down and trying to write lyrics, for example, with anyone other than Harry,
mm,
because I know him, I know what he can do, I know that we can complement each other. Like it's a bit it's a bit of a scary thing outside of that, but I don't have to be outside of that, so it's fine, I
yeah.
guess.
Mm. Yeah, no, that fully makes sense. And you've got a busy rest of the year coming up because you've got loads of touring, especially across November and December. I bet you can't wait to be on the road again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, in a big way, because like we've toured quite a bit this year. I don't know how many shows we've done. Maybe we've done, I don't know, 20 shows or maybe a bit
Something.
more.
Yeah.
But then in
Around that.
the very last bit of the year, we've got like, I mean, it's gonna, because we've got a few more to book as well, so it's gonna look like, I don't know, like 40 shows or something. And it's just exciting. It's just like well, at least it's one of the things that we absolutely love doing. So
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. It's just gonna be, hopefully it's gonna be great. And also it's the best form of rehearsal is playing a show. So we're just gonna be feel so informed by the end of it,
Yeah.
and then going into the
It's
next
always,
year.
it's always a shame when you finish a tour or a string of dates, like in terms of like you'll never get as tight and as like synced up, like in all senses.
Mm,
So you spend a lot of time together, but I think you get it becomes very, very symbiotic, and you sort of learn not just like musically, but like you just become like very like when to talk and not talk, and like when to you someone needs to like step up and do something. It just all becomes like extra limbs, like by
Mm,
the end. And so you sort of, not that you ever lose it, but like the longer, like if you take a gap away, then sometimes coming back to it feels like not starting from scratch, but like it kind of feels like it takes a while to get that pace back again. So
yeah.
that's a really exciting aspect of touring.
Yeah, and apart from just a couple like Hamburg and Paris, all the rest are in the UK. You hoping to be adding any more overseas shows?
Yeah. So I don't know what we're allowed to talk about yet, but
Yeah.
I feel like probably more in the new year. There might be something going on in Italy this year, but yeah, in the new year, I think we're hoping to like go back to the Netherlands, go back to Belgium, go back to Italy, France, Germany. Like, yeah, we'll be doing quite a lot, I think, overseas stuff.
Good, can't wait, guys. It's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Nice
Dude,
one.
thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
man.
That flew by.